take your medicine if you get driven. That's good. What you can't do is just drop short or wide, because it's just easy runs for a batsman. That's the only exception to that. Steve Smith, who you can't bowl with stops. You've got to try and bowl somewhere else.
Finch forcing off the back foot this time through the covers. That's the end of the 18th over. Finch looking very comfortable out there. He's gone to 51. He obviously played for Surrey for a little bit. He played for Yorkshire too in county cricket. He knows England quite nicely, but he knows that ground at the Oval very nicely indeed. Feels at home there, and has dug in today from the long haul. I think 51 off 55 for him. Khawaja 1 off 5 in Australia. 83 for 1 after 18.
Yeah, the overall run rate dropped to 4.6. So Sri Lanka certainly responded in the last few overs. See the bowling figures. Pereira's now giving away 23 from his 5, so that's decent, and Danajaya Silva 2 overs and 1 wicket for 4 runs, so certainly a little bit of pressure applied from the change bowl. 3 overs for 11 from Adana is pretty decent too.
Danajaya starts again, and that's tried to force it through the offside, comes off the outside edge a little bit, which is why the bowler's just holding on to his head to make sure it hasn't fallen off. And see that ball did just a little hint of turn, wasn't there? Lots of Malinga's found something to tickle him. As Danajaya bowls again, and it's defended, stroked off the back foot up to long on. Very comfortable single for Aaron Finch. And that ticks his score on nicely. The score predictor now 3-1-3 for the Australians, and the run rate requested to reach that total 7.2 from here on. Australia, I think, with the wickets in hand, would fancy the chances of getting higher than that. Danajaya bowls again, and that's played into the offside by Usman Khawaja, and they go through for 1. So I think for Khawaja this is a great opportunity. He's got plenty of time here. 33 overs, something like that, when he came to the crease, and plenty of time to get himself going. They're trying to get some kind of score on the board for Australia.
Definitely, that's much better really.
One on Finch's cuttings, stroking off the back foot, straight out to that moment to deep cover. That fielder out there says supposed to be patrolling all of that length around it, but every time I've seen him field, he's just gone straight to it. It's almost been like a goal strike, just chipping up to the flag.
It's happened quite a lot. It's just going to get it rolled, and then obviously just get it very slightly wrong inside on stuff.
Yeah, 20 to the offside, there's no run in set. Still at short set for cover. So, David, it's time to call for fifth bowler. New variation. Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I think that's probably most people's first game plan. So that's forced to the outside. Go through for 1 more Khawaja. He's up to 3 from 8. And he's 7 for 1. For Australia, 19 overs gone from Sri Lanka. We've caught back well here. They'll be happy. Australia will be reasonably happy. I think so far it's one as even as the over.
Yeah, see the score predictor was suggesting 3-14, wasn't it? I think Australia that's probably enough to win this match, but I honestly think he made that bang on this attack. It's pretty disappointing, or certainly slightly disappointing to only just sneak past 300.
One of the things that score predictor doesn't factor in at all is the X factor kind of performance that Maxwell or Finch, if he gets really in, which he is, could give you if they suddenly start to really tanker on, because people like Maxwell and Finch don't necessarily go to the script that a computer might work to. As Pradeep continues, beats him outside the off stump there for a while, just wafting an airy drive at that, and it goes through to the keeper.
Yeah, it was written something the other day that Khawaja said his problem is that he'd actually excelled for Australia at the top of the order with Finch, so they made that position his own, and then of course Warner came back into the bowls. It's like, well, do we stick with Khawaja because they've gone with seniority and Warner's taken that place at the top of the order, but actually Khawaja's record not at the top of the order is not particularly impressive, so it's now having to adjust to a different role again.
Oh, actually that time he's egged the drive at that one. He's got very fortunate there with Khawaja. Flash hard, that went through about where the third slip would have been. Khawaja gets away with it, gets his first boundary of the day. He goes to 7. Sri Lanka, a few of them on their haunches, they're looking a little bit disappointed because they know that was a cliche moral victory to the bowler. Edges it there, definitely catchable height as it goes through the slip cord. Pull up to about the third slip would have been. Rex is away for 4. Khawaja not looking convincing.
Nah, not moving his feet as yet, is he? As that shows, just a sort of aimless waft outside the off stump.
Sets himself again Kawaji is just ducking underneath the short ball for Lee to have watched all the videos, watched all the games that everybody else has watched. And these days, the wrestling rooms are just filled with computers where they've got the analytics of every single innings, every single ball that happens to a particular batsman, where they're going to target him, what they're going to do to it. And the short ball definitely a weapon against him. Three balls left for this 20th over. Balls for him, digging with his heels in here, trying to fight his way through the line, down to well, 3 for 1, he goes away, it's right to the right, 2 for 1. Quite I think I'd like to watch the Big Bash League a couple of seasons ago, because he was the leading scorer in the Big Bash, but yeah, it's when he wants to, he can really power the ball about, and he's more known as a slightly more sedate kind of batsman. You put him in the Glenn Maxwell kind of category, and he's just going to try and find his identity, I guess, isn't he, in this Australian team? As you said, and he's been cast in a slightly different role, so he's trying to find his identity again and in different positions for the hold Finch, who is looking very good tonight. Drives that one out to the boundary, goes 3 for 1 more, he goes to 54. The score goes to 93 for 1. Finch has got no trouble at all, hasn't he? He's just played well within himself, straight, along the ground, hit the bad ball when they've come, not been many of them, and used the fast outfield, used the gaps, run them on very nicely. It's a troublesome sign. They want to get him soon striking, because Finch is capable of going to a very big score. He really did set his sights high. He finishes the 20th over. Again, short ball. Kawaji, we're here for you. We're going to aim at your chin. We're going to get some chin music out. I'm sure Sri Lanka are quite fast enough to make him really dance about. But end of the 20th, Sri Lanka will be very happy with the way they fought back over those last 10 overs.
Definitely, yeah. It's been better for them on the first 10. It's 5 to 17 runs scored. Finch has slowed to less than a run a ball now as well, 54 from 59. So, it's you would say the balance of the game swung in Sri Lanka's favour by any means, but it's a more even contest now than it was a few minutes ago as Dhananjaya Silva continues to Finch. Defends this first ball back to the bowler.
Gets through the overs quite nice and quickly as well now, especially now Dhananjaya's on, because he's a live wire, isn't he? He gets through his overs very quickly.
Yeah, he's much quicker, doesn't he? Which is always good.
And from a spinner's point of view, if you're bowling well, pressure mounts up very quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, then again, right arm over to Finch, drives us back down the pitch field by the bowl, and there's no run. Yeah, you see spinners, obviously fast bowlers can't do it, but certainly spinners, you can see spinners speed up appreciably, can't you, when they've got the batsman in a little bit of trouble as Finch drives off the back foot up towards mid-wicket. No run again as Matthews feels this time.
Never let Dhananjaya, but looks like the sort of person that bounces out of bed in the morning, gets down for breakfast, and he's eating his cereal before anybody else has let their eyes. He looks the sort of person that he doesn't waste time.
Definitely not. Finch back in his crease, nudges this towards square leg. Look at just an easy jolt single. So it's Finch to 55 now. Interestingly, it's the only spinner we've seen so far. Usually it associates Sri Lanka with spin bowling. At the moment we've just seen the off spin of Dhananjaya Silva. The other options used so far have been 4 pace bowlers and 4 seamers. I was going to say, the one thing they've not got is any sort of express pace anymore, have they? But I think they've got Cyril Wardana bowls left arm spins. It'd be interesting to see if they turn to him maybe to try and settle Finch in particular with a different angle. Dhananjaya's going to go around the wicket to Kawaji, who drives into the offside, finds the gap. Felt like a bit one to deep cover.
Well, so we talk about Kawaji reinventing himself. The whole of the Sri Lankan team's reinventing himself. They've just lost Hirat, obviously they haven't Mitai Mururitharan in the past. Hirat has taken loads of wickets. Murali's been one of the better bowlers of all time.
Giant over the wicket again to Finch, going straight to mid-wicket, there's no run.
Regardless what you think of his action, he was one of the better bowlers of all time.
Well, I would say he got tested, God knows how many times, so...
Got tested after they changed the rules, so he got accommodated. He'd already taken a load of 200 test wickets by then. If you suddenly said that all of those were taken in the legal action, kind of called into question about 8 years of test cricket.
But you'd have to go back and go to all the previous bowls from years ago, wouldn't you? And I think I always used to remember Richie Benno always used to say the sort of answer to the one potential answer. I'll get back to that in a second as Pradeep starts up to Kawaju, who's beaten outside the off stump. Is there an outside edge? Sri Lanka look very confident.
Keeper's
Umpire
convinced, isn't he? Keeper is convinced here.
Yeah, umpire Richard Illingworth's not interested in the slightest. Karuna Ratner, I don't think he's going to use it. The keeper looks absolutely convinced, but they often do look absolutely convinced. No one else seems to.
Karuna Ratner did look interested last time, and then suddenly with about a second to go,
Yeah.
he did the T sign, but it doesn't that time.
It's not to know. Say that.
It'd be interesting to see this because the keeper's definitely heard something.
Maybe is his bat scraping top of the pad?
I think it might have been.
It's gone past the outside edge.
Yeah, there's definitely not an edge there, is there? It's clear daylight.
Nothing on ultra edge, and yeah, you can see gap. So good decision not to burn the review on that one. So Pradeep Singh short to Kawhi down the leg side, pulls it around towards fine leg, but pick up just one. Plus they've still got one review left as the previous review, although it wasn't successful. They don't lose it because it was umpire's call and going on to hit, so you still keep it.
In my brave new world, you wouldn't lose your review if less than 50% was the same kind of principle.
I think the way they've changed it now is a good move in that you don't automatically lose it, because the way the system's used, like you say, sometimes something that would have been given out is still out, but not given out is not out. So in that case, you shouldn't lose your review because the review was correct as it stands. So Pradeep into a Finch who attempts to hoik this through the leg side. It's far too full, and he goes over the top of the stumps and through to the keeper.
First time Aaron Finch looks uncomfortable today. That was just hurried him a little bit, and maybe did keep him a little bit low. I think potentially he's indicating he was going for the pull, and it ended up going just over his off stump. So maybe did just not bounce quite where Aaron Finch thought it would do. But yeah, interesting. It's the first time that Finch has any bother whatsoever today.
Definite loss of momentum by Australia at this point in the proceedings, as Pradeep's in full to Finch works it away through the leg side just behind square. They get just one now, and the run rate's fallen to about 4.5 runs and over, so that's at the end of the 22nd over. No, it's not. Sorry, I thought the broadcaster had gone to an ad break. They've just gone to a little feature. I just assumed it was an ad break, but wrong. There's 2 balls left of this 22nd over.
Strange time to chuck this in. It's oil painting of Alex Stewart. He's no oil painting.
I was going to say, you can't say he's no oil painting. There it is, we've seen it. Pradeep to Kawaju. Pradeep's obviously decided Kawaju needs a little bit of chin music. It goes past the edge of his helmet as he ducks out of the way.
There was that game, wasn't there? Was it against the West Indies where it was against the West Indies, wasn't it? grew very fond of Aaron Finch when he was with them. He was a good team man, settled in very quickly. With the Yorkshire setup, always seemed to choose an overseas player, not just on talent, obviously Aaron Finch has got that, but on their personality and how they're going to fit into the way they want the team to play and be in the dressing room.
Finch aggressive, drives up towards mid-off rather this time. One, I think most teams do there. They say there's plenty of talented players out there, but it's which one's got the mentality and the approach we want to just sort of drop into that dressing room and just be fine with it from the off.
Although he'd gone home by the time Yorkshire won the championship that year, he obviously got a championship winners medal for his part in Yorkshire's season.
Ryan the wicket from Dananjaya, pushed into the offside by Kawaja, no run fielded at the point.
Came primarily for the T20s, but played some championship cricket whilst he was with the Yorkers. And see the last ball of this one swept away by Kawaja, gets a fair look at that and he's caught. Wow! Oh yeah, I'll take over your job for one ball, take a wicket.
Yeah.
Just swung that away into the leg side. And Sri Lanka picked up another one, so they are really starting to hamper the Australian charge to a big score here.
That just looked like a relatively easy, just sweep it around the corner. I thought he'd swept it down, to be honest, but not only he swept it in the air, but he's pretty much picked out the fielder out on the square leg fence. Sidana it is, who takes a pretty comfortable catch right in front of him. He had to move a couple of yards to his left, but no more than that. And that's really a bit of a giveaway from Kawaja, who said he had a big opportunity to perhaps make a score. Well, he's failed to do so. He's made 10 from 20. The 100 came up earlier in that over. So that is the end of Dananjaya's over. 100 for 2 now, Australia. Finch still there on 59. Dananjaya's got, where are we, 2 for 13 from 5. So Sri Lanka may be thinking, should we have selected another spinner, or more importantly, should we bring Suriwardana on now to spin at both ends, because it certainly appears as if it's more difficult to score off the slow bowls than it is off the seamers.
I think having I can see why you'd do that. I do think the seam at one end and the spin at the other, and the variation that those two give you, I think there's an advantage in doing that as well. But Dananjaya has certainly made an impact on this game. He's kept it very tight, and Kawaja, that was not a good innings, was it? From a man under pressure for his place, he's come in, he's actually scored at less than the strike rate that David Warner was doing. We were being slightly critical of David Warner at that stage. He's certainly not added in any impetus to the Australian batting today at all. He could have been out before. He edged through the slip cordon and got away with it. He looks totally off the pace at the moment, and certainly susceptible to the short ball too. So big question mark against Usman Khawaja. But Stephen Smith, who has been playing well in this tournament, he's 5 innings so far, 170 runs, an average of 42.5. Not a bad man to bring in.
Yeah, he's at the non-strikers end at the moment. It's the end of the previous over. Pradeep it is to continue. Finch nudges us down to fine leg, pick up a single, so brings Smith down on strike for the first time.
Just to finish my Aaron Finch story, I was getting somewhere with that. He was very popular. Then he went to the races. I think had a very good day at the races. He liked to punt, and he had a very good day at the races. He left a big chunk of money in the club office and said, enjoy your championship celebrations when you win the title. And that was put me on the bar for a few drinks for the Yorkers at the end of the season.
That's one way to make yourself popular, isn't it? You're never going to struggle after that, are you?
No, he seemed to go down very well with the team that did. I think in most clubs that would go down well.
Yeah, I was going to say,
level.
You have to be pretty hard-hearted not to appreciate that, wouldn't you? Just hold up as Smith gets himself ready, takes guard, and a couple of fielding alterations from Sri Lanka as well. So pretty it will be to bowl to the former Australia captain, I guess we've got to call him at the moment. Smith tries to work this cross, as he always does, moves across to the off stump, working through the leg side, hits him on the pad, but far too high to bother about an LBW decision. But now you've got a different challenge. I mean, how do you bowl to Smith? Because if you go too wide, he drive you through the offside, but if anything sort of even just very slightly outside the off stump, he just gets across and works it, doesn't he?
I think there's a lot of talk in the Ashes that Ashes winter where he just batted all seemingly for months on end, didn't he?
Yeah. So pretty into Smith again, who again across the stumps, works it through square leg. They'll get one out to a deep square. They think about a second, but Udana's quickly in to keep it to 1.
And there's a lot of talk about what plan you should use, whom should you do, X, Y, Z. I think just bowl normally at him and bowl to top of off stump and actually make him have to try and do something against you. And then if you're hitting top of off stump and he misses, then you get bowled. But that's the best way to bowl anybody, isn't it?
Yeah,
it doesn't change
essentially,
The fact that he's a bit weird doesn't change the.
Yeah, you're right. Finch half forward defence, thick inside edge out to the leg side, and there's no run. Yeah, there's so many different sort of complicating factors thrown in, but as you say, top of off stump pretty much works for every batsman.
Yeah, especially in Test cricket. But in one day, obviously you have to use a little bit more variety in that. But he's fresh and good at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, I always go back to Glenn McGrath. What did Glenn McGrath do? Anything outrageous? Did he swing the ball hugely, seam it? No, he just bowled it off stump all day long.
Yeah.
Pradeep's in again, bounces Finch, who goes for the hook. There's a sort of strangled shout from the keeper. There's no edge on that, so a dot ball again.
Finch has definitely put a strangle on Finch as well.
Yeah.
He's had 2 wickets full at the other end, so he knows kind of the first rule of batting at the top of the order is don't get out as soon as you've lost the wicket at the other end. So he's kind of caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place at the moment, isn't he? He wants to try and get this scoreboard ticking and get up to the big score that he thought they were going to get to. But he doesn't want to get himself out. He wants to give Stephen Smith some time to get himself in as well. So the momentum has completely shifted.
Yeah, Pradeep bounces Finch this time. He goes for it, hooks it out into the deep. Has it gone all the way? Oh, it has. It's gone a long, long way. In fact, about 10 rows back into the stand. So that's the first 6 of the day to Aaron Finch. Moves himself to 66 from 74. 108 now for 2 at the end of the 24th over. Finally some aggression.
Yeah, and poor bowling, I think that, because the bowler was sucking into the fact that he saw Finch struggle with the first ball. The one thing that one shot that Aaron Finch can play is the shot over deep square for 6, and he got the full meat at the back behind that one, hit that one away for 6, and pressure can mount. Track will take a long time to build up pressure. It can diffuse very, very quickly.
Yeah.
A couple of overs and all of a sudden Australia's straight back into the swing of it. So Sri Lanka need to keep going, and Dhananjaya crucial to that from one end, who has completely sucked any momentum out from bowling from this end.
Yeah, he's into Smith, who pushes us up towards the gap at long on, but it goes through. Goes to the man at mid-wicket. See that 6 again. It's not a huge boundary out there. 68 metres from Finch. He went way over the fence. As Dhananjaya full to Smith, who drives but only straight back to the bowler, and there's no run. Dhananjaya excellent figures in the scheme of this game. 2 for 13, and he's in his 6th over. He's in again. Smith is back and drives into the leg side, picked up well by the man at mid-wicket, and another dot ball. So Sri Lanka still putting the pressure on nicely, you can see. Dhananjaya's in again to Smith, who nudges us round the corner on the leg side to the man at short, fine leg, comes across to field, so just a single to Smith. He's got 2 now from 6. Finch 66 from 74, struck 7 fours, and that's 6 and from the previous over off Pradeep. Into Finch full, driven by Finch, find that gap wide of man at mid-wicket up to the waiting fielder at long on, just the single. 110 for 2 now Australia. Cyril Wardana was the man doing the fielding, just as a practice of his bowling action, maybe possibly coming on to have a bowl left arm spinner as Smith drives back to the bowl that Dhananjaya fields beautifully off his own bowl. It's another really good over from the off spinner, just the 2 runs from it, 2 singles. He's now bowled 6 overs, taken 2 wickets for 15. 2 wickets to fall. The first one was David Warner, bowled by Dhananjaya de Silva for 26 off 48. That wicket fell at 80, and the second wicket went down at exactly 100. That was Usman Khawaja, caught at deep square leg by Dana off the bowling of Dhananjaya de Silva for just 10. Sri Lanka really putting the squeeze on Australia after a pretty decent start from the baggy greens. The current run rate just 4.4 runs and over, which I'm sure would be lower than Australia would have fancied. It was certainly up to around 5.3, 5.4 earlier before those 2 wickets fell in the last few overs. Now it's a question of can Sri Lanka keep this pressure on for a little bit longer, and they could look to restrict Australia for a total that Sri Lanka will certainly fancy chasing down. It's going to be Udana, the left arm seamer, to Finch, who drives towards long on, where Malinga does the fielding easily enough, just the single. So another bowling change from Sri Lanka. As often happens in these games, maybe not too much going on. You rotate your bowlers around to keep the batsman guessing. Finch is obviously well set. 68 to his name. Smith not so much, only just come in recently. 2 from 7 as he takes strike to Udana. This is full just outside the off stump, and Smith, as he always does, works it away into the leg side out to deep mid wicket for a single. 3 from 8. Smith's average in one-day international cricket 41.9, which is actually higher than Finch's 40.28. Maybe slightly surprising overall that figure. So Udana is in again to Finch, who dabs this down, beats the man at point. They'll get 1 down to Pradeep coming in from the third man boundary, but just the one. 13-4-2 now. Midway through the 25th over, so we've just passed the halfway mark of this Australia innings. It'd be fair to say an awful lot of the early momentum has just been lost in the last 10 or so overs, particularly against Dhananjaya de Silva. Off spinner, the only spinner we've seen used so far.
That score predicted now down to less than 300.
Yeah, that's certainly not what Australia would be targeting for. Smith again moves across to off stump. Eventually plays a fairly orthodox forward defensive back up the pitch to the bowler.
I mean, Sri Lanka, I don't rate them as a side. I certainly don't rate them as a contender to win this tournament, and I certainly don't rate them as having too much chance to win too many more games in this competition. But if they could restrict Australia to less than 300, even Sri Lanka would give themselves a bit of a sniff in that chase.
Yeah, and it takes one batsman to get in and get a big score, and suddenly, it's not a position you'd have felt was likely a while ago. Smith again walks outside off stump and works it to mid wicket. They'll get 2 this time as he's picked a gap straighter of the man out on the mid wicket fence. So 2 more to Smith. And Sarah Pereira's the man out there. The pretty long chase to get around there, 15 to 20 metres. So plenty of time for Smith to take off quickly and come back for an easy 2.
There's some batsmen who, on their day, can play very good innings for Sri Lanka. They just haven't had too many days recently.
Full and straight to Smith, but it's just too full. It's a full toss and he's whipped it away through the leg side, through mid wicket, and he'll pick up a boundary. His first, so disappointing end to the over, which in the end costs full run straight to Smith, but it's just too full. It's a full toss and whipped it away through the leg side, through mid wicket, and
Stephen Smith is an ungainly looking batsman. It's just when he actually at the point of hitting the ball, he hits it rather sweetly. So he's looked quite good in this World Cup so far. I think people underestimate that innings he played against the West Indies when they really came back from the brink, really, and he dug in and grit his teeth and did a lot of hard work there for his sides. And on a pitch like this, I mean, we looked at this pitch, we spoke about this pitch in the first 15 overs. No demons in that wicket at all. This is a good batting wicket.
Yeah, definitely. Dhananjaya to Finch tries to heave this round the corner on the leg side. He will get a wide this time. Finch looked disappointed as if maybe it had just flicked his pad again, but it was just disappointed of having missed out.
Actually, that did flick his pad.
Yeah, it was very close, wasn't it? Dhananjaya's much straighter this time. It's picked up and he's followed through by Dhananjaya still, and there's no run.
Well, the impression the umpire was a little bit slow to actually put his arms out, and Finch was starting to look disgusted at the umming signal.
So, Dhananjaya in again to Finch straight, driven up towards long on. Fielded by Cyril Wardana. He's not been rewarded for his practicing his bowling action just yet. Finch up to 70 now. 21 for 2 Australia.
That is a hell of an improvement. That start on the screen now. Averages over 100 against spin.
Last year, that's Smith's Stokes an easy single up to long on again.
Whereas prior to that, he'd averaged around about 27.38 against spin. So he's obviously done a lot of work about how he was going to tackle spin bowling in one-day cricket, and it's obviously paying dividends today, isn't it?
Yes, he takes strike to Dhananjaya, who's short on the off-stump, driven up towards long off this time. Just the single. So 4 runs from this over so far, including the wide. Dhananjaya will be reasonably satisfied with. Smith now on strike and defends to the leg side of the pitch, but far enough away from the bowler to score a run. Strike again, should be the final ball of this 27th over.
Hello.
Straight whipped away through. Is there really any point saying whipped away through mid-wicket? So we just use that as a default shot for Steve Smith. He gets a single and he takes the strike. Yeah, doesn't really matter where it's bowled unless it's 2 foot outside off stump. It's going to be whipped towards the leg to mid-wicket.
I'll tell you what though, Dhananjaya and De Silva, 2 for 20 from 7 overs. When he came on, Australia were going along very comfortably at about 5.5, 6 and over. It was looking like 300 was going to be an absolute must. Probably 350, even 400 if Finch and Maxwell etc. really did their job today. He's come on and he's really sucked any momentum that Australia built up out of this innings. 2 for 20 from his 7. 2.86 and over. That is really good bowling in any cricket. And he's done his job very nicely today. 3 overs still to bowl from him.
So Udana, the left arm seamer, to continues his angle down towards third man by Smith and just a single. The sort of bizarre thing is that Australia seem content to just sort of tap singles at this point, and yet, as you say, they were up at sort of 5.5, 5.6, nearer to 6 runs and over. Well, the current run rate's only 4.6, so they've lost an awful lot of momentum. Yet there doesn't seem to be that sort of push that you would see from an England or an India to say, don't take risks, but put pressure on, try and get as many singles as you can, try and get that scoreboard rotating. And Australia seem content to just sort of sit there and wait a little bit, if you like, as Finch does exactly the same as Smith and picks up 1 to his total as well.
I'd argue that if England had lost a wicket when they lost David Warner, when Australia lost David Warner and Root had come out, he would have not played anywhere near like Khawaja did. And they would have just carried on. They would have just ticked on that. He'd have just introduced himself, run a ball, and just ticked everything along nicely and kept his partner company. And Australia failed to do that.
Garner, left arm over the wicket to Smith. It's square on the leg side. They'll pick up 1 to deep mid-wicket.
And that's one of the question marks about India's side. And we've seen England obviously with Pakistan, the lower order exposed, but that was in a run chase and the pressure involved early on in the tournament where there were a few nerves still in that position room, I think. But I think if you look at India, their tail is quite long.
Yeah, potentially.
And therefore, if they did lose 2 or 3 early wickets, it changes the psyche of the batsman coming in the middle order.
Driven down the ground by Finch. I was just about to say that's going to go for 4, but Malinga's actually out at long on for the left arm seam of Udana. Picks up another single.
Whereas England have this mentality, they're going to play 2.5 T20 games of cricket effectively, and they're not going to actually ease off at all the way through the middle overs either. Because historically, you can't just do this and
this is sort of old style.
You'd be happy to go on 4 or 5 and over, just get the signals, the occasional dot ball, and just keep the scoreboard going. But England don't do that anymore.
Udana to Smith, who drives into the offside this time, picks out the man at mid-off, and there's no run.
You'd fear for India if they lost Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and MSD, reasonably early in their innings. With what is to come, they're going to have to consolidate and do kind of play like Stephen Smith did to consolidate, rather than play like England would do, where they just keep the shackles off and keep going for it, knowing that they're back down to number 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think I'd say certainly on paper you fancy England's batting lineup the most, wouldn't you? It's just especially with those few star players deliver for the likes of Australia or India. This is wide of the off stump, driven by Smith. It's behind square on the offside. I think that's going to race away for 4. It is, the man covering on the sweep on the offside is in front of square. So that's a boundary to Steve Smith. Takes him to 17 from 18, just his second 4 so far. And Australia end the 28th over, 32 for 2.
The reason those star players our star players is because they tend to do that.
Yeah.
That's why they've got that reputation. But they still need to perform. It's no given, is it, that David Warner or Stephen Smith or Virat Kohli or Virat Kohli's not human, is he? He just does it every time. Rohit Sharma, etc. are just going to turn up and rule the roost because they usually do. Still got to go out there and do the job, but I think India's tail would be my worry if obviously it's not going to become an issue if Rohit Sharma scores a century. He never gave out holidays. It's not an issue.
Dhananjaya to Silva to Finch. That's a poor ball. It's short down the leg side, helped on its way past the man. It's a short, fine leg, and will race away for 4 runs. Seeing Dhananjaya to Silva just drop short and down the leg side 2 or 3 times. Got away with 1. And was scored a wide, and that gets punished for 4 runs. Lifts his shirt over his face as if to say, "Yeah, I didn't need to do that." So it will allow him 1 odd. Poor ball. He's bowled very well so far.
Yes. His figures have been tarnished a little bit, but not too bad. 2 for 24 is still a very good effort. Finch has had a couple of sighters at that delivery though, hasn't he? And he didn't make a mistake that time.
77 from 83 now as he attacks the off spinner, and he's heaved that down the ground over long on by a long way, 20 or 30 yards back into the stands. 6 more to Aaron Finch. It's his second 6 of the day. Obviously, thinks it's about time the off spinner comes under a bit of pressure. Not too much wrong with that ball, I guess, maybe a bit full. It's at 92 metres 6 straight down the ground, so it's a big hit from Finch. So the first 6 he hit only went 68 metres over deep square leg, and a long way straight down the ground. So the off spinner's in again, Finch goes again, almost in the same area, and it's gone almost exactly the same distance, so 6 more to Aaron Finch, who's obviously in a rush to try and get to. Now, and it's over.
Washing the ground as he goes, and all of a sudden he's the sort of guy that can open his shoulders and take a game away from you. On the agenda.
So really over for the off spin. He's bowled so well so far. He's in with Finch. This is better. He's nudged by Finch up towards the gap, but off. He'll pick up 1 to take Finch is over left. See Smith on strike, and just works this for a single through the gap at mid-on. It's a very expensive over. There was already 16 from the first 3 balls. 3 following balls, including behind square on the leg side. He'll pick up a single, take the strike again. We've got to 91, end of the 29th over, 52 for 2. A bit of treatment.
He's 7, he's on the verge to go into 3 things for the the top end of that table, and he's still really not taking that many risks. Those 2 6s over the top there, they weren't meant back there. 2 off 38 balls has really started to just wrestle the momentum back for the Aussies after it really getting a bit down. That was good like for them at one stage when Khawaja came in. During his innings, Australia really
পার্টি দে কি দিয়ে সাজবেন রে কি দিয়ে সাজবেন কি লিখিম কি জানি টিকটক না কি কয় টিকটক না কি কয় রে বানান কোন টিকটক বানান কোন টিকটক মানে ফানি ভিডিও দাও টিকটক দিয়ে বেশি থাকে আরে টিকটক বল এটা ফানি ভিডিও শুন টিকটক দেখো না TikTok funny girls video. এটা সাউন্ড কই ওই ইয়াটার সাউন্ড ভিডিওটার মধ্যে সাউন্ড নেই মানে বিদেশি মেয়ে সাউন্ড কই তো আরে ভিডিও চ্যালেঞ্জের মধ্যে সাউন্ড করতে গাছ গিয়ে গেল লিখি সাউন্ড করতে সাউন্ড দিল তখন তো দেখনি वाला আমরা সাউন্ড মা বাড়িত নয় কাজ মনে হয় স্যার খেলা দেখিস না কাটে নাকি এটা